Surprise, surprise, Donald Trump is screwing over one of his most reliable voting groups, truck drivers. About 80% of all truck drivers voted for Donald Trump, and 90% of all truck drivers out there in the United States voted. Often they lived in critical key swing states, so truck drivers could have turned the balance of this election and tipped it in favor of Donald Trump. Now, over the past week, what's going on? Trump just absolutely destroying the incomes of those employed in America's #1 job among non-college educated men. Truck drivers. The average 7-day van rate mile drop to -40% and still falling. Yep, Trump won this demographic by 80%. His core electorate, as Jay in Kiev puts it. Craig Fuller from Freight Alley explains, the trucking market conditions are soft, but with imports and exports collapsing, the industry is in for a very rough season in the coming months. The winds are picking up, but the hurricane is still offshore. The way I've described it right now is it's like a tsunami where the shore recedes and you see that tsunami coming and you know where this story is going to end, and it's not going to go well for truckers. The only difference with the tsunami example is a tsunami and mini tsunamis and average size tsunamis are already hitting this industry. As Dominic Tullo says, COVID level supply shocks are beginning to happen. The general public and most operators have no idea what could be headed our way if this is not fixed within a week, and it won't be. May 2020 had 51 shipment blank sailings, over 80 so far in April 2025. COVID actually will look like good times for the trucking industry. Let me repeat that stat one more time for you. In May 2020, there were 51 shipments of blank sailings, already over 80 in April of 2025. And just for the non-truck drivers and people who don't follow freight, blank sailings occur when ocean carriers skip scheduled port calls due to low freight demand or equipment shortages, disrupting supply chains. So in April 2025, over 80 blank sailings were reported, surpassing the 51 from May 2020, signaling a severe collapse in global shipping activity. This spike in blank sailings could exacerbate the trucking market woes as reduced import and exports shrink freight volumes, intensifying economic pressure. Craig Fuller from Freight Alley goes on to say more. Many truck drivers I've spoken with don't realize how quickly container volumes have collapsed. Starting in May, port freight out of California will be almost eliminated. It's going to be a bloodbath, they are saying, for truck drivers. And just as we told you before, the polling by groups like CDL Life and others showed 75 to 80% of truck drivers were supportive of Donald Trump. Again, you just take a look at these graphs of the canceled sailings by the major container shipping firms by month. And again, you see a total collapse. Derek Thompson posted the following. New pod. A lot of companies are definitely going to go under. That's for sure. I talked to a manufacturing CEO about how the tariffs are affecting his business. He told me America could be sleepwalking into a small business apocalypse. Derek says, let's say the tariffs on China stick around. How does your industry, the toy industry, look different in 3 years? Molson Hart goes, if the tariffs don't go anywhere, toys are the least of our worries. What about transformers and pumps and air conditioners? A lot of these products aren't really made anywhere but China. At a certain point, the stock of replacement transformers, the replacement pumps that we need for clean water, are going to run out. And there isn't anyone building new factories for those things. And the factories won't be ready in time. As for the toy industry, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but a lot of companies are definitely going to go under. That is for sure. we're hearing about in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hundreds of workers now being laid off at 2 truck plants in Pennsylvania and Maryland as company officials say orders are down amid market uncertainty. Volvo Group North America confirmed to ABC 27 News that 250 to 350 people will be laid off from the Mack truck plants near Allentown, along with 50 to 100 people from the Volvo Mack powertrain plant in Maryland. Volvo owns Mack trucks, and the plant manufactures engines, transmissions, and drivetrains for both. The reason why I was mentioning that Derek Thompson pod, where they were talking about the transformers and the air conditioners and the pumps, is because they arrive, trucks take them from the ports and bring them across the country. But that's why you now have these blank sailings. Now, here's what I want to share with you. What was Donald Trump doing during his campaign? Here was a moment where Donald Trump was in Allentown, layoff central right now for truck drivers. And here's what Donald Trump said to the truck drivers. And apparently this worked. Apparently this was effective. Here, watch this clip.
By the way, nice trucks. You think I could hop into one of them and drive it away? I'd love to do it. Just drive the hell out of here. Just get the hell out of this. I had such a good life. My life was great.
Seriously? Seriously? I remember when Donald Trump was like remember he was cosplaying like he was a garbage truck driver? Remember he was doing that? The cosplay garbage truck driving? Play this clip. That's why we were telling you then that red flag, he cosplays these positions, and that's how you know who he screws over the most. When he does that cosplay, he's mocking you. He's not lifting you up. He's telling that he thinks that you're pathetic. Let me show you another moment where Donald Trump said things that were similar. Here, play this clip.
These people are crazy. No, they want trucks to be all electric. The problem is they don't go far. That's a problem. You know what else is a problem? So the trucking industry comes to see me because they think I'm going to win. And they come in to see me. And these guys come in, and they're great guys. They've been in like Roger Penske. How good is Roger Penske? The guy's won, but he's in the trucking business too. He's won like 19 Indianapolis 5. Think of how good this guy is.
85% of people have already crapped the bed on their resolutions, but you could still get your ass right by washing with the Tushy bidet. Listen, we all have our problems, but your cleanup routine, that does not have to be one of them. That's where Tushy comes in. I've been using the Tushy Wave bidet, and let me tell you, game changer. First off, installing it took me just 10 minutes, no plumber needed. I'm telling you, if I could do it, anyone can. Tushy gives you a refreshing, soothing cleanse with fresh water, gets me cleaner, faster, without feeling like I just sandpapered my backside. I'm telling you, once you go bidet, there is no other way. You like that? Tushy isn't just about feeling clean. It's about saving money, cutting down TP use by 80%, and protecting your skin. Plus, it looks sleek and fits perfectly in my bathroom. And every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. There's still time to get your ass right for life. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code Meidas at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code Meidas. hellotushy.com, promo code MEIDAS.
And by the way, it's not just truck drivers, also just trucks that people drive in general. The tariffs that are retaliatory from China to the US has effectively shut down the China market to the United States on basically everything. So Ford this week halted all shipments of its F-150 Raptors, Mustangs, and Michigan-built Bronco SUVs, as well as Kentucky-made Lincoln Navigators to China. The Wall Street Journal reported, this is bad, but you know how, Kimberly Gargoyle said, the best is yet to come. The problem with what's going on for truck drivers and frankly for all professions is that the worse and the far worse is yet to come. Right now, what we're experiencing, the volatility of the markets, the days where it dips 3-4%, goes back up a little, dips some more, that volatility is actually nothing compared to why it is that Jerome Powell, of the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and others are predicting dismal economic conditions. It's because there's a lag effect. So what China's doing, what all these other countries are doing, just think about the boycott from Canada and Europe, what that is doing, that's going to start being felt now in April, May, June. And then what happens when one company defaults on its loans and multiple companies default on their loans? And then you have this domino effect of defaults. Then what happens to the banks? This is a self-engineered Great Recession by the Trump regime that, unless something miraculous happens, is coming. And that's what all the economists see. And Donald Trump and his idiotic, vile, trash regime is their, accordion hands acting like it's not. And to the truck drivers out there, I have such great respect for you. I have such great respect for your profession. And you may not be one of those Trump voters, but I'm sure you know people who you hang out with who were. Show them this video. Show them the MeidasTouch videos. Why? Why would you vote for someone whose entire history in life? Have your truck driver friends who like Trump go back and look at all of his bankruptcies where he screwed over workers and contractors and didn't give a shit. He's a bad guy who has hurt workers his whole life. Why do you think this guy likes you? You're just his mark. You're just his mark. That's how he sees you. To use you. You know that, but share it with people. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
New Meidas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.meidastouch.com.